Yo, good morning, YouTube and other friends on other platforms, potentially. All right, two things today, the body and the mind. The spirit, that's a big element of my channel, but maybe I haven't developed my spiritual uh, domain as much. So maybe that's why I feel like I'm having more content on the mind and body, or maybe I'm just focused on the mind right now and that'll lead into the spiritual. Don't really know. Okay, so firstly, with the body, I tend to think of it sort of like from the bottom up. Sorry, from the bottom up, hydrogen, water. That was good. It gave me the time I needed to remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, from a more fundamental level, it seems to me that you need to take care of your body first before you can start to think about your mind and take care of your mind as it is essential. Okay, so it's obviously essential to take care of your body or else you die and you don't have the opportunity for any other sort of experience. And then it's important that you take care of your mind as well because when you take care of your mind and discipline your mind, just like you've disciplined your body, as you discipline your mind, you will be able to, I don't know, work on your spiritual essence and be more tuned in and more sensitive to the spiritual levels. So, similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I feel like it's important, at least that's why I call the channel Body, Mind, Spirit instead of Mind, Body, Spirit. All three of these things are components to your being, and they are all essential, but um, they are all essential and they are a constellation of what makes you, you. And yeah, anyway, so you got to take care of your body. If you don't have a body, you don't have a mind like you have one now. So fundamentally, taking care of our bodies. So I have a previous video on exercise, snacks, and meals. And there I talk about, hey, you eat 3 meals a day. Why not have 3 exercise meals a day? And then, hey, you have snacks, a couple of snacks throughout the day in between your meals. So why not particularly when you're at like a desk job, maybe if you're working out in the field or you have a pretty active lifestyle in the day to day, you don't need to do this. But for many of us who are sitting behind a desk, we're driving 20, 30 minutes to work. We are, or God forbid, an hour each way to work. And then you're spending 8, 9, 10 hours behind your desk, and you're doing this 5 days a week. Like, there are repetitive stress injuries, RSIs, that people get, like their wrists hurt or their back hurt from a lot of time at the computer or time sitting. And so the exercise, snacks, and meals and snacks, they uh, help you start to recover these injuries, get control over your body, and stop having it fight you. But instead, you're able to work with your body and be healthier and happier and do more things. It doesn't have to be such like a rigid system or anything. It needs to be adaptable and move your body when you can. And so whenever you go to the gym, you need to warm up before you work out. Typically, you don't just like hop right in and you do like your first set of whatever exercise and you go really heavy. Like you're supposed to build up to that. You work up to that, and you need to warm up and get your blood pumping a little bit better and get all your joints lubricated. And once you're warmed up, then you can start to increase the weight or the intensity. But you typically don't want to just jump right into the highest intensity because that increases your chances of getting injured. So it's almost like with these exercise meals and snacks throughout the day, you can perpetually stay warmed up. right? So if you think of your car like your body like a car, like this car needs to be oiled, it needs all the joints need to be lubricated, and if you let it sit for too long, then it starts to get problems. There start to be issues based on your car sitting for too long. So similar with your body, man. You don't want your body to sit for too long, whether it's been 5 years, then your body is really not going to want to run well, or it's been a 1 year or a month or a week or even a day. Like my point is that it's advantageous to keep your body somewhat warmed up and like regularly use it, because this is one of the fundamental ways that you can start to increase your mobility and decrease how old your body makes you feel. Having chronic pain, having chronic stiffness and immobility and certain ranges of motion that you're avoiding because of a previous injury, you don't just that doesn't just go away on its own. You need to work on that and improve that yourself. And so if you have some sort of restriction in your body, one of the common methods that I've found that help with that is to slowly work into that range of motion. So let's say, for example, like my lower back was hurting and it restricted me from bending over because every time I bent over, the muscles would tighten up really intensely and it would create a lot of pain. So what you would do is within the range of motion that you do have, you do gentle repetitions where you go right up to the edge of where the pain starts, and then you go back to a comfortable position. And then you can do that several times. Okay. So that is teaching your body that it's okay to go here, and you're mobilizing it. So you're creating blood flow and movement, which helps move fluids around, bring nutrients to help heal. And so it's better to go into the pain, but not so like to use a metaphor. If there's a fire that is the pain, it's good to go up to the fire and condition yourself and maybe start putting out the fire. If you just run straight headfirst into the fire, it's going to burn you. Or if you just try to do whatever, like you don't have an injury, it's going to get worse. But also, if you avoid the fire, if you avoid the injury, it's only going to get bigger as well. So you need to go up to it, you need to manage it, and over time you'll start to put it out and you'll start to uh, fix your body. So don't avoid things that are causing pain, but work on them gently over time and do it consistently. And then if you're not injured, you want to stay warmed up. You don't want to let your body sit idle for months at a time without using it, because your joints will not feel as lubricated, or your body is so complex. It's full of all these systems of tendons and ligaments and muscles and joints and all kinds of tissues and um, what's the word that is in between meniscus and like all these so many things. And you've got your circulatory system with all these little red blood cells floating around. It's like you've got so much stuff going on inside of your body, and we neglect our bodies. We just expect that they're going to work well for our whole lives, and then we don't take care of them properly, and then we have chronic pain, and then we're like, what the heck? Why is this happening? It's so you got to take care of your body. It's insane. So you got to take care of your body regularly, and it might not be every day for some people, but I would hope that you kind of floss all of your joints like every day, or at least be mindful of the parts of your body that are causing you pain and work on those, and uh, work on those things that are causing you pain, and start to knock things out from the most significant to the least. And then once you feel like you have no injuries, then start to build strength, start to build flexibility and balance and coordination, and um, to get better over time. Um, so I hope that's clear. If you have an injury, slowly nurse the injury by working into it gently without causing too much pain. And then once you are pain free, then you start to work on your overall fitness, increasing your strength, your speed, your flexibility, your balance, coordination, these sorts of things. And this will help you to live longer, have more energy throughout the day. Just you're going to work, you're hanging out with your kids, your friends, your family, and you've got more energy because your body feels good. You're not restricted and limited in what you're able to do, but you're able to do all of these things. Okay, so I hope that speaks to everything I wanted to say for the body today. Now for the mind. I was getting my clothes ready this morning, and I looked at my bookshelf. I was putting on my socks, and I was looking at my bookshelf, and I was looking at all these different books, and they're so detailed. Some author somewhere, this is what they've specialized in for the last 5 or 20 years, and this book this book is the culmination of all of their thought and research, which they have looked at full time for a long time. How am I going to get what I need out of that book by reading it one time? Like, is it not much more complex and intricate? How am I going to spend a week reading somebody's book that they spent 10 years building and expect to be at the same level of understanding that they're at? And then how am I going to have 50 books on my bookshelf and expect to myself that I'm going to know what all 50 of those books are saying, even at a level remotely close to how the author intended? I feel that's very unlikely. All of our lives are so busy. I've got work, I've got sports, I've got family and friends. And then it's like in my free time, I read these books. And like how in the world am I gonna comprehend these books at a level that is sufficient to how the author intended for me to come away from the book knowing? Like, there's just so much information out there. I've talked about this before, like the saturation of the environment that we're in with information. So focus on the things that you want to focus on. Read the books, watch the videos that you want to bring into your consciousness. Do not focus on things that waste your time, because time is a limited resource. And um, I don't know, read good books. I guess that's what I'm saying is read good books, or reread books. It's okay to watch the same video twice, or listen to the same podcast twice, or read the same book twice, because you're going to get something different out of it the second time than you did the first time, right? You're not going to be the same person the second time that you're watching it, because you've matured since then. You've had different experiences since then. So you're going to hear it, and it's going to sound the same, but you're going to hear something new, even if you've heard it before. So um, I think this is a message to myself as it is to you, but it's good to read books more than once, because they're so complicated, and there's always more to learn. All right, that's my rant for this morning. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something about how to take care of your body, keep it warmed up, nurse your injuries, and get stronger. And then work on your mind. Read books, read things that challenge you and make you think. Uh, they'll make you smarter, and revisit those. If you enjoyed this morning's rant, if you enjoyed this morning's flow of thoughts, I hope you gained something from it. I hope it makes you better and stronger than you were last week. And have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe if you appreciate the content around here, and leave me a comment. Let me know how to make my videos better. If there are questions you have, or thoughts from the video, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.